three times, and it's holiness. For example, when we go to Isaiah chapter 6, and we see the seraphims, these special kind of angels that are in charge of the worship of God in the courts of heaven. They are proclaiming day and night without ceasing the holiness of God. And what they are singing, the praises they sing without ceasing is, the Lord is holy, holy, holy. And we know that from Hebrew, the Hebrew language, when we have a word being repeated, that specially means that it's emphasizing that which is repeated. Like in our days, when we grab a text and we use a highlighter to highlight something which is important or remarkable, Hebrew, instead of highlighting, does repetition. Whenever we have a word repeated, it means that that's a central thing of the text. That's a central thing that it's being highlighted, which the scripture wants to communicate to us that we must not fail to see. And so either in Isaiah chapter 6 or Psalm 99, three times does the Bible declare the Lord is holy. So we see that first in His majesty. What does it mean that the Lord is holy? Well, the psalm opens with this line, the Lord reigneth, let the people tremble. He seated between the cherubims, let the earth be moved. You see, the Lord reigneth. The Hebrew sense of that verb, being king, was not a reality that was far away from them. Being king was not a reality that was far away from them. It was not something that they could conceive with a lot of difficulty. You know, when the people of God thought about God as king, they could immediately realize that the presence of God was among them. That God gave them mercy seat between the cherubim, signifying, I am here with you, my people. I am the king who is reigning actively, and I'm not far away. I'm in your midst. I am God, and here I am. I am God, and here I am with you, actively caring for you, with you, actively caring for you. And the people experience that not only symbolically in the mercy seat, but because all of the dealings by the Lord with them, protecting them, caring for them, giving them the manna, blessing them. So the Lord, you see, distinguishes Himself from the false gods by saying, I am reigning. That places God in a unique place. Not any idol from the world can claim that for itself. Only the true living God is the God of Israel, is the God of the church. His kingship is not far away or remote. His kingship is present in the midst of the church. Even today, the king is present with his people. So how does that relate to His holiness? Well, holiness, the word holiness or holy in the original language, all the people. Again, we have that picture of God being great, and yet He is near. You see, the Lord is great in Zion. He is above all the peoples. And then He is exalted because of that very reason. Even though God is great, even though He is completely other, we cannot even conceive the idea of God, comprehend it wholly. He still reveals Himself as a God who is near His people. How could that be? How could such a great God, such an amazing completely other God can condescend to us in such a manner that he is near us, that he reveals himself to be in the midst of his people. How could that be? He is holy. He cannot be contained by one place. Not all the universe can contain God. God is greater than that. If you just imagine the smallest of molecules, the smallest of atoms, or if you conceive even the biggest of the stars, the biggest of the galaxies, not all, in all its dimensions, can contain God. God is greater than all that. And yet, he is in the mercy seat between the cherubims, standing and reigning actively in the world with his people. How could that be? He, being so great, so holy, he has committed himself covenantally. That is, he has signed his name that he will be in our midst, that he will dwell with his covenant people. And so how should we respond to that? The text says, let the people tremble. Let them praise thy great and terrible name, for it is holy. You see, the question for all of you this morning is, do you tremble at the thought of God? Do you think so highly of God that just a few minutes into meditating upon who God is, do you tremble at the thought? Do you really tremble at his presence? You know, if you have never experienced this trembling, perhaps you need to examine what is your view of God. How great is God for you? How do you conceive such a holy God and yet such a near God to you? That is just not something to wonder about. It's something to tremble about. How could this be? This God, who reveals himself to be completely other, still is near to us. What does that remind of you in response? You see, when you come to work,